Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Today we're going to talk about helmets, how to find the right fit, and why it took me 9 tries to find a helmet that works for me. So let's get going. This video is probably best designed for someone who's a new rider or someone who's in the market for a new helmet. But I'm also going to tell you the crazy story of why I went through 9 helmets before I found one that works for me. However, before we get into story time, I want to make sure you are all aware of something. When you buy a helmet from a retail store, whether it be a local store or online, such as Revzilla or Cycle Gear, make sure you wear the helmet at home for at least half an hour, or in the store, if you're comfortable doing that. For at least half an hour, I would even recommend more like 45 minutes to make sure the helmet is comfortable. Because if you take that helmet out on a ride and then you find it's not comfortable, most stores will not take the helmet back once it's been out on the motorbike or on the road. So keep it at home until you know it's the right one for you. Of course, if you buy it from Amazon, you can just use their return policy. Another concern when shopping for helmets is safety certifications. This can get confusing, and there's tons of research you can do out there. But I'll boil it down to basically the 3 main ones that are in use for consumer motorcycle helmets. The first is DOT, which is the U.S. Department of Transportation certification. This is a decent certification as far as safety goes, but as I understand it, the problem is that there's no actual accountability on this. So you can buy a helmet that says it's DOT certified, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually passed the tests, because the U.S. Department of Transportation does not require a level of accountability on that certification. For instance, my first helmet was a $40 or $50 Amazon helmet that I found. I wasn't aware of the concerns with safety, and I saw it had a DOT sticker on it, so I bought it. It had a lot of good reviews, seemed like a good deal. But now, as I've learned a lot more about safety and helmets, I would guess that it probably would not pass an actual DOT certification inspection. The next 2 certifications are SNELL and ECE. SNELL is an independent testing organization in the US based out of California. ECE is the European standard for safety. There's a lot of debate as to which one is better, and it seems to be primarily determined by what style of riding you do. But either way, both of these certifications are decent, and both of them are good certifications to have alongside of a DOT, as opposed to just having a DOT helmet only. So I highly recommend, when shopping for a helmet, that you shop for a helmet that has both DOT and either SNELL or ECE. The next variable in helmets is style and function. There are a lot of different styles to choose from. Half helmets that only cover the top of your head, 3/4 or open face helmets that also cover your ears, and full face helmets that cover your jawline and chin. And in the full face helmet category, you also have regular, modular, dirt bike helmets, dual sport helmets, etc. This is another area of contention amongst riders. People in the motorcycle safety industry, such as MSF teachers, will always tell you that a full-faced helmet is by far the best. Statistics say that somewhere around 25% or more of the facial injuries that happen to riders happen to the chin or jaw area. And those are areas that are only protected by a full-face helmet. But of course, there are lots of people who wear 3/4 face helmets, half helmets, or even no helmet at all, depending on your state's rules. I personally will always recommend a full face. So let's talk about fitting the helmet to your head. The first thing you want to do is measure the circumference of your head. Using a cloth or vinyl flexible tape measure seems to work best. and it probably will be easier to do if you have a friend help. You want to take the tape measure around the middle of your forehead, just about an inch or so above your eyebrows, and then go around your head about a half inch or so above your ears. There are plenty of videos out there that can help with this if you're not sure how to do it. The circumference of your head is going to tell you what size of a helmet to buy: small, medium, large, extra large, etc. But when you're shopping for a helmet, you'll want to check the manufacturer's sizing chart to see how it compares. You'll also want to look at reviews, because some helmets will run small or large than the actual size that is posted from the manufacturer. For instance, the final helmet that I ended up with, even though my circumference of my head says to buy a medium, I ended up with a large. The next step is to determine your head shape. There are 3 different head shapes. All head shapes are oval, but there's a round oval, intermediate oval, or long oval, which hopefully is self-explanatory. And this is where my adventures began with finding a decent helmet. Like I said, my first helmet was a cheap Amazon helmet. I hadn't done much research, so I thought it was okay. But it didn't fit very snug on my head. And as I did a lot more research over the next few months and watched a lot of videos, I began to realize that it probably was not a very safe helmet to have. So I began shopping for a better one. So I took a picture of the top of my head, got my circumference, and based on pictures I saw online of round oval, intermediate oval, or long oval, my head to me looked like it was in an intermediate oval. And what helped with that was the statistic that about 80% of people in the US are an intermediate oval. So my second helmet was a Scorpion Exo R420. Good looking helmet, but about a half an hour into my ride, and I didn't know at the time to not wear it for a ride right out of the box. So I took it for a ride, and about a half an hour in, I had this really uncomfortable burning spot in the top front of my forehead. And by the time I got home, that uncomfortable spot had turned to a bright red mark on my forehead. So I returned that one. I was able to return it even though I had ridden with it. And I picked up this HJC I-10 helmet, which is also an intermediate oval. That one had the same problem. So then I started doing some more research, and that's when I learned about the big difference in the head shapes when you have a helmet that is too round. In other words, I'm a long oval shape and I was wearing intermediate oval, so the helmet was too round. It's a little bit loose on the sides and too tight on the front. That's exactly what was happening to me. So I switched to shopping for a long oval helmet. My fourth helmet was an Icon airframe helmet. Fifth was an LS2 Stream. Sixth, an Icon Airflight. Seventh, an LS2 Aero. And eighth, an LS2 Strobe Modular. These are all long oval helmets, yet they all left me with these bright burn spots on the top front of my forehead. While going through all these helmets, I found a website that rates various helmets based on how round or narrow they are. And at this point, I had tried every long oval helmet that was within my budget. The website had one helmet that was listed as being longer and narrower than all the others. It was more money than I wanted to pay, but I decided to give it a try. Based on the circumference of my head, I ordered a medium. This is helmet number 9. This one gave me a different problem. On this one, the cheeks felt nice and snug, but the top of the helmet was too tight. But at least it was tight all the way around. It wasn't super uncomfortable just in one spot, which told me it was the right size in terms of being a long oval. The longest, most narrow oval helmet out there as far as I can see. So all I needed to do was to get one in a large size, because the medium was too small for the top of my head. And I found that you can actually get different thicknesses of cheek pads. So I can get a thicker cheek pad with my large size helmet, and it fits just right. So finally, I got a helmet that fits. Arai Signet X, size large, with thick cheek pads. So there you have it, folks. There's the story of helmet number 10 and how I got there. I hope that maybe some of these tips were helpful, or if nothing else, a little bit amusing. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day.